Hello, I'm Scott Bulkey here with your PFL athlete Nathan Kelly ahead of his PFL upcoming fight on August the 1st against Frederik Dumpas. How do today?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Good week of training done. Weight is really good. Way ahead of schedule with me weight. So I'm just in great form. I'm full of energy, and I just can't wait to get in and get the fight done.
And what do you see about this fight coming up that you feel like you can actually take advantage of?
Well, I think my opponent is he's quite one-dimensional in the fact that he kind of has a pattern to his style. So he comes out. Uh, Kind of shoots for the head outside single, pushes him up against the fence, and he looks to get a guillotine set up after taking them down, and he can transition to a dart depending on their reaction. So I know that that's gonna be his go-to plan A, and I don't really think he has a plan B if all goes wrong. Whereas in relation to me, I can fight anywhere on the feet, on the
Yeah.
ground, in the clinch, in the wrestling. So anywhere I'm comfortable, I can finish the fight anywhere. I've serious power in my hands. I don't think he's very comfortable on the feet, so that's kind of why you see him shooting in very early to try initiate clinch and wrestling and look to get the finish. But yeah, I think what's gonna win me this fight on the night is my diversity of skills. And I'm just a much higher level than him.
And what have you done since that last fight that has made you get to that next level?
I just kind of tweaked some things with me training. Kind of focused more on skill sessions. I did a lot of sparring for the last fight. I had a fractured foot in the last camp, so I was kind of sparring more in the cage, but just wrapping up the foot and doing more of that as opposed to just training me positions and me skills. So that was a big change in this, and more importantly, was just I really reinvigorated myself and my mindset, and I came out of I'm coming off two losses, so like most people would probably crumble and lose track of themselves, whereas I just got even more motivated to come back stronger, and I think that just shows me resilience and that shows me character, and yeah, I'm coming back with something to prove, and I'm definitely going to be coming in with a lot of venom inside of me. I have two losses to make up for. I've worked my balls off for this camp. I've did everything right from diet to preparation to sparring. So all that's left to do now is show me skill level on the night and put this lad away and hopefully inside 2 rounds.
Exactly. And like you said, you did have that fractured foot cap during your camp. How was it on fight night?
Say that again.
You did fracture your foot during the fight camp. How was that come fight night?
By then it was starting to heal up a bit, so it wasn't too bad, but it just hindered me preparation a
Yeah.
little bit. Um, like there were certain points of the training camp I couldn't even put my foot on the ground, like for jiu-jitsu. Like just imagine this is your foot, the top of the foot. Even just putting that part of the foot on the ground, whereas a lot of that in jiu-jitsu, the top of your foot's on the mat. I couldn't do that. So there was a lot of things that were just causing me grief and pain with it, but I just soldiered on through. Maybe I should have pulled out a fight in hindsight, I have a habit of just grinding through things. So that was a lesson learned in itself. But on the night, I was more or less, it was still very tender, obviously.
Yeah.
But at that point, when you're in the fight, you're just in the fight at that point. So it's kind of irrelevant.
And do you feel like that proves why you are better than other athletes? Because, like you're saying, you might have pulled out, other athletes probably will have pulled out, but you didn't let that affect you. You did other aspects, you trained other things, and you still went into that fight night and you put on as good a show as you could.
I don't know whether that makes me better or more stupid. It's one or the other, but yeah, no, I talked to my coaches after, and we assessed that, with big, like I'm in the big fight game now, the big leagues now, so you have to be a little bit more smart in relation to things like that. So maybe in the future, if something happened like that, I would just take the time and let my foot
Yeah.
heal to make sure I can maximize my training. But I was gonna throw away an opportunity to fight in the PFL World Tournament, and I just didn't want to do that by any means necessary. I was staying in the mind frame that I was fighting. So maybe in the future I'd contemplate things a little bit more. But at that point, I was just locked in on getting that fight. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And how does it feel to be able to fight on a card of this big of magnitude. You've got the world titles on the line. You've got the big stars coming out. How does it feel to be able to fight on get the opportunity on such a big card?
Yeah, I'm really grateful for the opportunity. Like I said, I fought twice this year and I lost twice this year. I
Yeah,
wasn't by any means expecting to get an opportunity like this, but PFL always like to give me opportunities. They back me, and because of that, I'm going to make sure to perform and really let me perform and show that picking me and put me on the card was the right move. And I'm coming out to put this guy away and hopefully do it in a nice, spectacular manner. So I'm really grateful. I got great opportunities. Like I fought in Dubai, the first ever card in Dubai this year. Then I fought in
yeah.
the PFL, the start of the World Tournament, and now I'm getting an opportunity to fight in the finals, and it's more importantly redeem these two losses. So, I couldn't be happier with where I'm at and what they're doing for me. PFL.
And the Irish MMA scene is just starting to take over the PFL. You obviously got Kieran Clark, who was in the tournament. You have got you. You've got Paul Shoes, who's chasing Usman Magomedov. You have Dara. What is it about the Irish scene that the PFLs can't live without? And do we need to come back to have a card in Dublin once again?
Yeah, I think we're all just on a great run. We're all doing really well as Irish fighters. We all have that warrior mentality. We'll fight
Yeah.
anyone, anywhere, and I think that's what PFL love. Like we don't turn down big fights. We take them on. And I think they love that. You know what I mean? They know we have a warrior spirit, and they respect that, and they give us opportunities because of that. So yeah, they're doing the right job and backing us. We're all in a good position in our careers, and we're all kind of coming into the flow of being professionals now and taking on big fights and getting big opportunities. So it's great to see. Yeah, I'd love them to come back to Dublin again. Hopefully, there could be a homecoming card for a lot of us Irish fighters. We could sell out the Tree Arena and make a big spectacle of it. So fingers crossed that happens in the near future.
And I mean, I don't want to don't play matchmaker, but Paul Shoes went to Usman's backyard. Let's come and do the rematch in Paul Shoes' backyard, and we'll just see how the tide turns.
I'd love to see that, man. Whether they do it or not, I don't know. Usman's been a bit dodgy with Paul. He seems to be ducking him a bit. He doesn't really want it yet. So hopefully they can make that fight. That'd be a big card, and I'd love to be on that again as I was the last one.
And how big, like, obviously, you're currently fighting out of SBG. Now, they had a bit of a rocky relationship with Cage Warriors. They seem to have mended that now, and they are starting to come back and put fighters on their cards. How had it been for the gym in particular, being able to have that opportunity for your favorite partners and that to have that to get back on that big stage?
Yeah, it's good to see. It was just one of them things. It was just it shouldn't have even been going on. It's just unneeded drama. But look, at the end of the day, fighters have to come first. It's their living. You can't
Yeah,
let stupid rivalries like that get in the way of opportunities for these up and coming talents. So I'm glad to see it's past it. Past it. It's all bygones now. So have a few teammates who've already fought in Cage Warriors, and some have upcoming fights.
yeah.
So it's great to see. It's better. It's better for the sport and the athletes.
And you just need to look at the crowd as well. They're coming back in September 27th. And in the last show, it was a sellout. So you Irish
Yeah.
fans, you love your MMA. It was a great evening of fights. Your crowd was buzzing. It just shows you guys get behind your fighters no matter what.
Yeah, the Irish crowd are great, and especially all the local talent from there. Like we obviously have our own little suburbs here in Dublin, and anyone
Yeah,
who's from certain suburbs has great support from their friends and their family and great and surrounding areas. And whenever we get an opportunity to step onto a big stage, there's always big support, and everyone travels in busloads to come and support us. So that's great to see. It's rejuvenating, it's uplifting, and it spurs us on. So it's great to see. The Irish fans are great, and just Irish people in general, they're very supportive, and it's great to have them on your team. The fans and the support is essentially another team member when you're in there on the night. You have your corner man, you have yourself, and then the fans are that extra player essentially. Do you know what I mean?
exactly. And then they're changing the bus loads to plane loads for this time. When are you heading over to the States to try and acclimatize yourself?
I'm just heading over next Monday, so that's when PFL wanted us over on the Monday. We check in and do everything in. So I'm heading over Monday morning. I leave Ireland at 9 a.m. and then I will hopefully land over there just afternoon time, and I'll stay awake until about maybe 8 or 9 o'clock that night, and then I'll just go to bed and wake up on US time the next morning, and then from there on in I'll be fully acclimatized. It's never failed me this far, so I've yet to see a flaw in that strategy.
And do you feel like it kind of helps you being doing that before in the last fight? You had to try and go over there acclimatize. Do you feel like having that experience, doing it before, lets you get a bit of an understanding of what you're needing to do?
Yeah, 100%. I think a lot of it is probably psychological as well. Like people go over sometimes a bit more in advance to acclimatize to the time, but I know what I'm able to do in the cage regardless of acclimatizing to times. Well, all I need is one good night's sleep when I land, and I'll get that on Monday. So once I get that good night's sleep, I'll be brand new, ready to rock the next day, and from there on in, we're switched on.
And how are you going to go and celebrate the victory?
Gonna celebrate with me friends, me family. I haven't seen me friends in a long, long time. Haven't really I sacrificed that a lot as a fighter, seeing your friends and enjoying
Yeah.
yourself with your friends and stuff like that. It's a sacrifice I make to achieve what I want to achieve. But I have the week after the fight, I have just a night out plan with my friends, my girlfriend, and all their girlfriends, and we're gonna go out and have a few drinks, celebrate the win and just enjoy ourselves and have a good night. And then, more importantly, then just spend time with my family after, see my nieces, my nephews, and yeah, maybe go for a nice meal with my family as well.
And do you feel like that's the side of the game that we don't fully see is the sacrifices you make? Because you're in the gym training 24/7 just to put on the performance for the fans. But we don't see the fact that you are missing the birthdays, you're missing the celebrations, you're missing that time with the friends and family that potentially you could have been doing if you weren't in this game. Do you feel like that is just the side that the fans don't see, and it just shows in the end that it is all worth it once you do get the win?
Yeah, I think it's the side people don't see. They see us training every day. They see all the cool stuff, the training, the after training pics, the fights, everything like that. But there is a lot of sacrifices to be made. Like what you do with your day throughout the day, in between your
Yeah.
training sessions, what are you doing? All of that stuff, that people don't really notice, the sacrifices you make, the kind of people you cut off at a certain period of time for a certain amount of time. But like you said, that just makes the win that much more worthwhile because all the sacrifices you've made in relation to your diet, your like your friends, your family, whatever it
Yeah.
is, it just makes that win much sweeter because it was all worth it in the end.
And do you feel like this is what is the benefit of fighting for an organization like the PFL, where it's not like the UFC, where it's after the next fight, let's try and work out when you want to go back in. You know exactly when the next set of events are. You kind of know when it's the off season, and you kind of have a bit more leniency. You kind of know when your next fight is going to be. Do you feel like that's what helps you as a fighter to be able to judge that?
Yeah, 100%. PFL are great for that. They have their season, they have their playout, they have their plans. So it's really, really great that, I know from like February to March to like September, October, that's the period of time I could be fighting.
Yeah.
So, you can enjoy your Christmas and your little bit of time with your family around then and switch on then when you need to. But yeah, that's a big help for me, and it keeps me really, really motivated as well to know that I have a consistent schedule ahead of me. You know what I mean?
And you go into this fight, you're getting that big stoppage, and you're in that tournament next year. What would you do with that 500,000?
I think I'd have to try put it off a house. I'm currently living in my mom's house and my dad's house here, so I'd like to have a house of my own with my girlfriend and start my own chapter in my personal life. So I think that would be a big one. Hopefully save a bit of money for the mortgage. And a lot of people don't understand, but a lot of fighting, you have to invest your money back into your
Yeah.
career. So it's like if it means, traveling to different gyms abroad and training, or hiring doing more like one-to-one sessions with your coaches and being able to pay them more money over more time to get more work in. That's what you're really investing in. You're investing in like your recovery, any like your supplements, everything that you can do to get yourself that one step ahead for your next fight. That's what you're gonna be investing in as well. So for me, I'd say, yeah, obviously property would be a nice one, and then everything else in terms of bettering my career, that'll come then as well.
And what has been your best training trip abroad?
Training trip, huh? I loved the trip to Thailand. I thought that was really cool. I've never been to Thailand before, so just getting to see the area, the region, the people are lovely over there. The food is great. You're on the beach every day nearly. It's just a beautiful, beautiful country. Obviously, the training was very good, and it was a nice way to train, but like not take it too serious either. Like you can do your
Yeah.
training, but you can also enjoy the reaps and rewards of being in a foreign country and enjoying your personal time a little bit as well and relaxing.
I mean, you also get the lovely weather here. I don't know, you don't need to go that too far abroad to get that.
The weather here in Ireland is fucking shit. So when you go abroad, it's always a nice little bonus. I went to it was my girlfriend teaches in Dubai as well, so I pop over there every now and then. So it's nice to get over there as well.
And then you also say that the Thailand was the best. Do you feel like their training is as intense and as that level is because this isn't a something for them? It's not like it's a career. That's their life. They get into when they're young. They get into it, and that's what is expected of them. It's not their passion. It's what is expected, and that's what helps you guys. Is just because they've been doing that for so long, they can get that knowledge down to you.
Yeah, especially from the Thai guys, they're doing it since they're in nappies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're learning that true Thai style of fighting, and you're taking things and you're putting things together from their perspective. So it's great. It is great to learn that it's pure Thai mindset is there's always great skills you can attain from that type of coach or training partner.
So I was speaking to someone a few months ago, and they're like about their trip to Thailand, and they're like, "Yeah, I was fighting this guy in the Muay Thai fight," and they're like, "No elbows, please, because next week I've got another fight." So it is just that relentless, let's fight, let's fight, let's fight for them.
Yeah, the Thai guys fight every second week or every week, literally. That's just what they do. A lot of them. Some of them are journeymen. Some of them just fight to get their few bob, whether they win, lose, or draw. They're fighting every single week just to get their paycheck. So that's just the way it is over there. It's a different culture to what we're used to.
And then obviously you were part of Bellator when that unfortunately the company did sadly go bust. How was it? How was that process from going to Bellator, moving to the PFL? How was that journey for you?
There wasn't much change. A lot of the PFL staff, when PFL took over Bellator, they kept a lot of the Bellator staff anyway. So there wasn't much of a change. And then obviously I knew the PFL staff
Yeah.
from before then anyway. So there was no issue. There was no difference really. The only difference is there was a change. They changed the gear that we fought in. Everything else was the same. The setup is the same. The strategy for the fights are the same. Everything else is the same. Bar it was a different promotion running it.
Did they let you know quite early about whether this is their plan? They want to keep you. They're going to give you that opportunity in the PFL, or was there any part of you that was in that limbo stage?
Never been in a limbo stage with them. They've made it clear to me from day one that they were going to back me. They made it clear that they wanted me, so I made it clear to them that I'll do whatever it takes to make it work.
And how much is it to have a company that values you, that straight from the off, they're like, we want you. This is our plan for you. This is what we're wanting.
It's great because you go through your career as a young up and coming prospect and you don't know where you're gonna be. You don't know if the promotion are gonna like you, if they're gonna give you opportunities or whatever. But PFL have given me every opportunity and more, and because of that, I'm so grateful. And I think I'm 7 or 8 fights in my PFL career so far. So I'm only beginning really. So it's great to have the opportunities that I've had so far, and I'm really looking forward to the future ones that come my way.
And speaking about opportunities, you did start your career off at Cage Legacy. I did see the other day, I think it is 8 years was since our first show. You were part of that. How has it been to see that, be part of that first show and just see it progress since then?
Yeah, it's been cool. Obviously, that's your grassroots right there. You're starting. That's where we all try to make our name and build our records and get our foot on the ground in terms of making an impact in our pro career. So it's great to see that I actually seen that the other day myself. They put that up, and yeah, 8 years. It's amazing. 8 years later, here I am doing good things with the PFL. So it was a real full circle moment to see that.
And then it's just that also you look back at that card and it's just so much talent on it. Like Kieran Clark is also in the PFL. You've got your opponent, Jack McGuire, who recently fought Octagon. You're in
Yeah.
the PFL. John Mitchell was PFL. It's just so much talent that was on that stage so early on from just that company just starting up.
Yeah, it was great. We were all of us lads back then. We were all gunning to make the big leagues, and we fought each other. We fought everyone, anyone who was there in Ireland. We'd fight each other just to make sure we could get our experience and get our fights racked up. So it was great to be a part of that scene back then.
And what do you think has been your toughest fight to date?
Um, I think my last two fights there, I had against the Dagestani lad was a tough fight. I could have finished him in the first round. I just made a few tactical errors after really, really hurting him. And I kind of let him back into the fight. And then my last fight was rather than it being a tough fight, it was just a tough one to take because obviously the
Circumstances.
incidents with me feet and
Yeah.
then me foot, sorry, and then I felt on just flat on the night. I just didn't feel pumped up for it. I felt I was going in pretty stale, and I just maybe didn't get myself psyched up enough to go into an actual fight, and that just cost me on the night. So I think that was just a tough one to take rather than a tough fight, essentially. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then when you were growing up as your amateur, you were part of the IMAFs. How was that experience? Because obviously that just like the Thailand, there's people that are just they start in the IMAFs and they don't leave whatsoever.
Yeah, IMAFs are great to get that experience. You're fighting the best of every country, and you're fighting them over the course of 5 days.
Yeah.
I got to fight in the World Championships in Las Vegas, which is pretty cool. I earned a silver medal for Ireland, so I fought five of whatever country's best fighters, and I gained invaluable experience. It was unbelievable to be a part of it, and yeah, I recommend any young up and coming amateur to put themselves into the IMAF tournaments and fight the best of the best.
And we'll make sure that we're also tuning in to your fight against Frederick on August 1st at the PFL. Is there anything you want to add or anyone you wanted to shout out tonight?
I just want to say thanks to everyone who's been supporting me, and my teammates, my coaches for the work they put in with me. And yeah, just hope I can go out now on the night and put this lad away inside 2 rounds, like I think I will be able to do. Hopefully, a nice knockout or submission, and move on to the next one in flying form.
And we can't wait to see you get that victory. Thank you so much for coming on. Best of luck.
Thanks for having me.